police lied.
The police lied? What did they lie about, honey?
They told us they'd come down there where we could see them.
And you came all the way out here? Now, do you have a ticket for the show tonight?
Yes.
Well, are you going to the afternoon or evening performance?
The evening.
And who do you say lied to you?
The police did.
What did they tell you, honey?
They told us they'd come down there.
And they wouldn't let you come down here? Is that anything to cry over?
When you wait 2.5 years, it is.
One of you, I believe it was George, am I right, said that you couldn't comment on Vietnam in this country, but you could in England. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
I didn't say that. Maybe one of us said that, but I didn't.
It was me. Well, I mean, you know about that anyway, you know. I mean, we could say a thing about, like John's religious thing in England, and it wouldn't be taken up and misinterpreted quite as much as it tends to get here a bit. You know, I mean, you know it does.
But
it was.
To say it again and again.
Whip
it up, is it?
The thing is, I think, you know, you can say things like that in England, and people will listen a bit more than they do in America, because in America somebody will take it up and use it completely against you, and not have many scruples about doing that. And I don't know. You know, I'm probably putting my foot in it saying that, but...
You'll be explaining for the next
Yeah, I know. Oh, well, it's just wonderful here.
Tommy, why this violent reaction to what John Lennon said?
Well, I wouldn't call exactly what I have done a violent reaction. However, the Beatles for a long time have been able to, because of their tremendous popularity throughout the world, especially with the younger set, have been able to say whatever they wanted to without any regard for judgment or maturity or the wisdom of it. And no one yet has challenged them to any tremendous degree where it might count, or where they might feel it.
Wasn't this a challenge like this, though? Wasn't this a serious article asking John Lennon how he felt about things? Wasn't he just being honest?
I suppose. You never can tell about him. His answers are so flippant, and his attitude is so bizarre in many instances that you never know whether he's honest or not. And honesty is a relative matter to the seriousness of the moment or the mood of the person. It would be the same as if an American group such as myself or an American singing group sounded off on the Queen and really took her to task and said who needs her and she's on her way out, and the system of having a king and a queen is ridiculous and it's shrinking and going to fade.
Birmingham people supported Tommy Charles' ban on Beatles records, and in the Bible Belt, some 40 other radio stations followed his lead. Worried that far-right extremist groups might try to become involved, Charles cancelled his plans for a Beatle bonfire, but many teenagers sent in their records and souvenirs to wacky radio nevertheless.
They said, get rid of the Beatles, ban the records, let's burn them or do something with them. And we acted, of course, on our own convictions, but we were backed up by the people, especially the younger people of this area.
Are you ever going to play Beatles records again?
Brian Epstein wanted to know when we were going to take the ban off, because it seemed that everybody was waiting for us to make the move, and they wanted to know what it would take. And I said, well, I don't have a price. It's not something that I'm waiting for the Beatles to do. I just don't know. I want them to make me change my mind about them. I want to see I want to see them grow up a little bit, I guess.
If he's upset and he really means it, you know, I'm sorry I said it, really, for the mess it's made. But I never meant it as a lousy or anti-religious thing or anything. You know, and I can't say any more than that. There's nothing else to say, really. You know, no more words.
Linda, you run this record store. How many Beatles records were you selling before this row started?
Oh, quite a few.
And since?
They've dropped off considerably because, I mean, maybe one a day, maybe one a week.
The store hasn't thought of banning Beatles records?
No. Of course not. We promote anything that sells.
Well, I think the Beatles are a real talented group, but I think that they need to watch what they say, because they're in such a position that a lot of teenagers really think of them as something really big, and when they say things like that, some teenagers are going to just believe anything they say.
But are you burning your Beatles records?
Yes, sir, I burn them.
You burned them all yourself?
I've already burned them.
How did you do it? I mean, Where? How?
Well, our Sunday school at NYF, we had a program about the Beatles, and we had supper at NYF, and it was in our backyard. So after we'd finished cooking the hot dogs, I just put my records on there.
What John Lennon said really didn't have any effect on me because, well, I think for myself, and there's certainly no comparison between Jesus Christ and John Lennon because I don't think that Christ came to be popular. As a matter of fact, he was one of the most unpopular people that have ever been alive.
I think most people are Christians and believe in God, and I'm just not used to this sort of thing.
You feel it's pretty shocking?
I sure do.
I don't think they were comparing themselves to Jesus. I think they were deploring the fact that teenagers, like rock and roll better than Christianity.
The disc jockey, Tommy Charles, who started this row off, has said that he won't play your records until you've grown up a little. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't mind if he never plays them again.
You see, this is the thing, everyone seems to think that when they hear us say things like this, that we're so childish, I mean, you can't say things like that unless you're a silly little child.
And if he was grown up, he wouldn't have done the thing, because he only did it for a stunt anyway.